understand our youths and the challenges they face?
Are we truly listening to what they're saying or even care about how they feel?
Youth Come Alive is a new and innovative program where we discuss issues that matter, such as spirituality, sexuality, relationships, addictions, careers, and so much more.
Join us on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on all our streaming platforms.
Youth Come Alive, a program for youth.
Are you on a health journey for the new year? Have you been looking for nutritious and delicious health food substitutes and cannot find it anywhere in town?
Well, we've got good news for you. Raquel Imports proudly presents a new soya pack line of products which includes soy-based milk options and meat substitute, 100% caffeine-free corn coffee.
What?
Yes, you heard that right! 100% caffeine-free corn coffee and much more.
This can't get better than this!
These products are now available for immediate purchase at Raquel's Imports, located at 3A Street, Kings Park, Belize City, and coming soon to a store near you. Direct message our Facebook page or call us at 611-0601 for more details. Soya Pack, a healthier option for you. Hello and welcome to Defining Your Health. We want to thank you so much for joining us again for another amazing episode. I am your host, Chantel Neal, and this morning I am joined with a good friend of mine, Mr. Rodvern Lino. Mr. Rodvern is a part of the staff there at Stella, and he's also the director of Special Olympics Belize. We have a very, very interesting topic to cover today, but before we get into that topic or learn what it is, let's do a check-in. Mr. Lino, how are you?
Morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Enjoying being here on your set.
Of course. I want to let you in a little secret. Mr. Rodvern and I go all the way back to Canaan days. You know, so this is a real treat for me to be on, or for him to be on set with me today, sharing a little bit about his passion for people with special needs, with disabilities, and as well as, enlighten us on things that are happening around our community, our environment, and how we can do better. Our topic for this morning is inclusion for people with special disabilities. Now, for those who are watching, we want to let you know that we are live here from our studios in Ladyville. So feel free to, put your comments in the comment section, engage in this conversation. You may know somebody or have somebody living at home with you who has a special disability or a special need. So feel free to share the link with someone that you know needs to be a part of this conversation. So again, we're live. This is not a pre-recording. We're live here from our studios. All right. Take a deep breath. Mr. Rodvern, when we think about people with special abilities or special needs, I know you've been around this whole, I know you've been around this special group for a long time. Mm-hmm. But growing up, was this always your passion? You know, working with people with special needs, was that always something you wanted to do?
Well, no.
Okay.
No. Actually stumbled into this profession and working with this vulnerable population. The backstory is a very interesting one. So I graduated from Canaan High School, and I was looking for a job.
Okay.
I stumbled on media. I was in radio at Life 101.7 FM.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
We worked together at Life FM as well.
Yeah. And after that, I wanted to do teaching. So I applied for a teaching job, and I got called for a job at Stella School.
Okay.
So I got a 3-month temporary position because the person was on long leave.
Okay. Before you continue, I want to stick up in there. When you heard that when you got the notice that you got the job at Stella, what was your initial thought?
Okay, so I was extremely excited.
Okay.
Why? Because my mom was a nurse, and she worked at Cleopatra White Health Center,
Okay.
which was right
beside.
next door,
Okay,
which
okay.
is right next door to Stella School now. So, and she was still working at the time, so I would have been right next door to my mom. One,
Okay.
but I've always been there. You know, she's been a nurse from early 1990. So, growing up, I would go to my mom's work, and Stella was right next door, so I used to hop the fence and go and play with the students there, and then hop back, you know. So I was a part of the community from then on. When I found out that
You were working there.
yeah, you get a chance to teach here, and
Yes.
like, wow.
Okay.
So no
So
problem.
I feel like God was lining it all up.
you know,
for you, 'cause-
thinking about it now.
Yes. It was all
probably-
line up for you.
Yeah, God was doing something great there. He was
Definitely.
designing the part, you know.
Yes.
So I took the offer for the 3-month position in 2007.
Uh-oh.
We're in 2023, and I was still there.
You never left.
Never
You never left.
left.
So you fell in love with what you saw there. You fell in love with whom you saw there. You know, children with special needs. Tell us more.
So when I got that position, I came from Canaan, where I was already organizing a sports. I used to organize basketball games, intramurals, and then I would go and announce the winners and you know the top scorers and the top assist people in the chapel session, and our students were really looking forward to that. So I kind of brought that to Stella Maris and to Special Olympics, and within a year, I was the National Sports Director for Special Olympics Belize.
Nice.
That now means that I would have had to prepare sporting events throughout the country under the banner of Special Olympics Belize.
Nice.
So I would travel to different parts of the country, train the coaches how to work with our athletes, and then do events.
No, sorry, not to cut you. Go ahead.
So that's where I am now. Well, not really where I am now. Where I am now, I'm the National Director for Special Olympics Belize, which means that I don't only
Coordinate for the city anymore.
coordinate the events on the ground. I actually have to do the planning. I have to find the funding. I have to do the reporting to Special Olympics International. So all of that stuff now falls underneath my scope of work.
Nice. Before we continue, I must let you know, and I've always said this to you whenever I meet you, how proud I am of your work. You know, Rodvern and I, like I said before, we went to Canaan together, and so we're young and we don't know what we want to do in life. And that happens sometimes. You don't know what you want to do in life, but God always seems to put you in a place where, you know, you develop your passion. It might take long for you. Thankfully, it wasn't that long for you. But it might take long for you or viewers to find what your passion is, but keep going at it. keep going at it, and God will direct you in the path that He wants for you to go. Now you found your passion. We spoke a little bit about Special Olympics. When we hear Olympics, we think about the big Olympics. So are you saying that you're preparing children or people with special needs to go to the big Olympics?
Okay, so the Special Olympics is a movement, an international movement that pretty much caters to persons with intellectual disabilities. Pretty much means that you have a cognitive disability, not a physical one.
Oh, okay.
So it mirrors the Olympics.
Okay.
So we offer Olympic type events. We have World Games similar to the Olympics. It's grand, just like the regular Olympics. It has coverage from mainstream media, the ESPNs, and so it's similar.
So this is a big thing. This and it's not just something for Belize. You said it's international, right?
So it's international. So they have winter games, they have summer games, they have every 4-year World Games. You know, so
I do know. A little birdie told me that we have a big game to travel to. Do you mind sharing?
So we have a bocce team, a bocce ball team.
Okay.
It's 4 athletes. So it's 4 athletes. 2 of them are athletes with intellectual disabilities and 2 are partners, but they're athletes as well.
Okay.
So they don't have a intellectual disability. Brings us to how unique Special Olympics Belize is. Special Olympics Belize is very unique because there's no other organization that organizes sports for persons with disabilities in the country. So internationally there's Paralympics, and then there's Olympics for the blind and Olympics for the deaf, but they're Deaf Olympics. But in Belize we only have Special Olympics. So that is the reason why we are so unique, because we cater to persons with all different type of disabilities, and then we would consider them partners.
Nice.
So the other 2 students or athletes that we're taking on the trip
Where are we going
World
again?
Games, going to Berlin,
Berlin,
Germany.
Come on now.
So the World Games this year is happening in Berlin, Germany, and we're taking 4. 2 of them are deaf.
Okay. So which means you need somebody there to sign.
Yeah.
Do you sign? All right.
So we have a very small delegation, 7 persons. 4 of the athletes, head of delegation, who is the chairperson of the Special Olympics Belize, Dr. Maxine McKay. And we have a doctor. You have to have a medical doctor on your contingent or your delegation. So we have a medical doctor, and then myself, who will be coach, sign. I'll do all the other work.
Okay, as you normally do, right?
Yeah. So that will be our contingent or delegation to World Games Berlin, and that takes place in the later part of June.
Nice.
Actually, June 12th to the 26th.
Right around the corner. So I wanna get under the skin of our viewers a little bit, Mr. Rodvern. I know before we started the live, we were saying that everybody have a disability. Everybody have a disability. If you stammer, that's a disability.
Speech impediment.
You know, if you what else can I say? If you have a twitching, that's a disability. But it's not a disability to a sense that you're worthless, you don't have no use, you don't have no value. So we have to be very careful when it comes to judging people with disabilities. We have to be very careful how we handle or include people with disabilities. It's necessary that we do not exclude them from things that are happening. So you always have to think about yourself first when it comes to disabilities, how you would want to feel.
Even the terminology, how you speak about or speak to persons with disabilities is very sticky, because you can then be condescending or come across as condescending
Yeah.
to these people who are already at a disadvantage, you know. So you want to be very careful as to how you refer to them.
Of course. And I'd like to add to that that not because you have a disability, that means you have no use, no value. God bless you with, or you have that disability because of some special reasons, you know, and you should be using that to help others or to encourage others or to create awareness, you know, for other people with disabilities. I'd like to continue on the list of disabilities that people who look normal, you know, you have a few people who look normal, but they have a disability. Maybe you have ADHD, it's a disability. So the point I'm trying to get at is that everybody has something.
Some form of limitation.
Of limitation. And that is your disability. Does that mean that you're any less than anybody else who we say is normal?
No, you're not.
It doesn't, right?
You're not.
So we are very much trying to create awareness here today in talking a little bit about inclusion for people with disabilities. You know, before we move into a break, where do you think we are in terms of the sensitivity scale for people with disabilities? You work with people with disabilities 24/7, basically. So you're in the field, you see things, you hear things. Where do you think we are on the sensitivity scale?
I do think that we are making strides.
Okay.
In an upward trend, but I also think that we're not doing enough as a society. I think that we're still in a place of ignorance, and with the true meaning of the word ignorance, being lack of knowledge, we don't know much as to how to include our persons and how to refer to them and how to speak to them. We're still doing the second glancing at persons with disabilities. That we see someone, a double amputee, and you be like,
What? Yeah.
That when he loses 2 foot,
No.
you know?
Yeah.
And
we chuckle at it, but it's a serious thing, and it's something that causes that person to feel less than he or she really is.
Definite. And then sometimes we see a person coming with a cane, and then they'll be like, the blind boy, they call, you know? And
Yeah.
And it is true that, you know, the person is blind.
It's like
but
we call out the disability before we see the
person. Right. And he is a man, you know, so why not, like, give break for the person, you know?
Yeah.
Why we have to put the disability before the person?
Yeah.
So we are still there, and we need to try to make a conscious effort to make some changes in our own self when we see persons and we're around other people who we like to consider normal. We're around our friends and our colleagues, and we have people with disabilities coming around. You have to be like a shining light to those persons. So it starts with you. You have to be a shining light for those persons around you, so that we can begin to create a culture of inclusion, man.
Of course,
you know?
of course. We do have a long way to go, you know, but I believe we've come to such a level, but there is always room for more, you know. And I like that you said that we need to you look at yourself first. Look at me, Chantel. I must be the one to be a shining light in terms of the way I carry myself, or the way I try to help somebody, or the way I make space for people with disabilities. I have a brother who has Down syndrome, Albert. And even though he has Down syndrome, that boy could dance. You know, he like dance, he like eat, he gonna make you happy. So even though you have a disability, you still have something that God gave you where you could be of addition to society. You know, you're not a waste. You know, you were not born as a mistake. You know, so my brother Albert, he he would do things to make you laugh, and you know him well because he goes to Stella Morris. He's graduating this year, and so he's just a cool kid. He likes playing games. That's, you know, regular things that teenagers do: playing games, listening to music. You know, he would dance, he would eat, and you know, these are things that bring joy to our family.
Yep, he calls me at 6 a.m. in the morning, wants a video chat. You know, he does everything that
he's
everybody
on Facebook, you know, and my mom is not the techie kind of person, so he's the one that would turn on the camera when we are, you know, video chatting, you know. So you may think of disabilities as somebody who's crippled, can't walk, bedridden, and that may be the case. But you do have who have people like my brother who has Down syndrome.
That's a cognitive. That's a cognitive disability.
Cognitive disability. So think about these things. Think about these things, and I want for you to try to help us to do better today. Help us to do better. How can we do better? This is the question we will try to answer. But how can we do better? As a community, as a society, as a church, how can we do better?
So it starts from within, and being the person you are, looking at yourself and saying, yo, I need to do better when it comes to persons with disabilities. I need to be the bigger person when I'm around my friends who will be laughing or ridiculing persons with disabilities, and I need to be the person who calls them out and say, like, that's not right. The way, you know? So it starts from within. As a church, it starts from within again. Am I making my church inclusive or welcoming to persons with disabilities? So do we have pantomimes with sign language? Do we have ramps so that persons in a wheelchair could access the church? Do we offer things like sign language classes in our AY session, you know, or little sign language competitions and stuff like that? Are we making our programs attractive to persons with disabilities? Are we? It starts from us, you know.
Definite. And those are some really good points you brought out there, because we are not thinking along the lines of, hey, I need to make my program as inclusive as possible. That not only mean English and Spanish language, but also you got to think about people with disabilities. You know, this is 2023. There's the internet is there, YouTube is there, where you can learn how to, you know, include people. You know, make a space for people with disabilities.
And I like to remind people that you're one sickness, one accident away from a disability. You really are. So right now you might be good and fine, and everything seems to be going your way, but you're just one blink of an eye away from being a person living with a disability. Yep. So we need to really think about that, and think about, if it happens to me tomorrow, I still want to come to church. I still want to be a part of my community. Am I making the community a better place where I would feel comfortable living in if it happens to me?
Man, that was deep. You heard me deep there, just, you know. But it's the reality. It's the reality, and we have to live in the reality. You know, you're 1 second away from becoming a disabled person, and that's something really to think about. You know, whenever you look at a person with a disability, you should be thinking different after this program, because it's what is now. You know, I could catch a stroke, God forbid, and you know,
you're wheelchair bound.
How would I feel? That's the same way a person with disability feel. So let's be mindful of the things we say. Let's be mindful of our actions, because they hurt. They hurt and they cut deep, and that's not the spirit we want to be emulating. We want to be emulating inclusion when it comes to including people with special needs. All right, we want to take a pause here. We're going to go on a break. We'll be right back. But we want to let you know that this program is live here from our studios in Ladyville. And we want for you to engage in the discussion. Put your comments in the comments section. Let us know where you're watching from. You know, maybe something you've learned thus far that you'd like to maybe for us to elaborate on a little bit, or a question you'd like to ask. Our expert, Mr. Rodvern Lino, is here with us this morning. So, you know, engage in the conversation. We'll take a break now and we'll be right back.
Really understand our youths and the challenges they face?
Are we truly listening to what they're saying or even care about how they feel?
Youth Come Alive is a new and innovative program where we discuss issues that matter, such as spirituality, sexuality, relationships, addictions, careers, and so much more.
Join us on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on all our streaming platforms.
Youth Come Alive, a program for youth.
Are you on a health journey for the new year? Have you been looking for nutritious and delicious health food substitutes and cannot find it anywhere in town?
Well, we've got good news for you. Raquel Imports proudly presents a new soya pack line of products, which includes soy-based milk options and meat substitute, 100% caffeine-free corn coffee.
What?
Yes, you heard that right! 100% caffeine-free corn coffee and much more.
This can't get better than this!
These products are now available for immediate purchase at Raquel's Imports, located at 3A Street, Kings Park, Belize City, and coming soon to a store near you. Direct message our Facebook page or call us at 611-0601 for more details. Soya Pack,
a healthier option for you.
And we are back. We want to thank you so much for staying with us thus far in our program today. We've been having a wonderful discussion on inclusion of people with disabilities. And we have our guest here, Mr. Rodvern Lino, who is a part of the support staff at Stella. He's also the National Director for Special Olympics Belize. Now, during the break, he shared with me that he was a teacher for an all-deaf class. I used to be a teacher for 5 years, and I learned that that was not for me. But now here you are, a teacher for an all-deaf class. How does that work?
So just a little backstory to that. That
Okay.
was my first teaching experience at
Wow.
Stella School.
Wow.
So here I am, a very young teacher, green as ever,
Okay.
and got sent to a all-deaf class. Now, I have 12 students. Everybody is deaf. And then because I'm a male, I got one troubled young man. So so I got 13 students now. At Stella School, you have 2 teachers to a classroom. So that worked a bit in my benefit because my co-teacher, she was very skilled in sign.
Oh.
So I was there teaching my lessons and she was there signing it. Like, I'm here teaching and she's there signing.
And we know her quite well. It's Miss Smith from Sandhill Church, right?
Mr. Celia Smith, she's a Seventh-day Adventist from Sandhill. So she would give me all the little pointers I needed to know. And 2 weeks in, she comes and she's like, okay, so I'm not signing any more of your lessons.
You're there for your own.
And she was, if I continue to sign your lessons, you won't learn sign language. So she told me to learn numbers, learn letters, and if there's a sign that I don't know, ask the student to spell it. And she would then purposely leave the classroom so that I could struggle. But it worked for the greater good because I then learned sign language, and my students now return to me. They're all grown. Some of them have children and stuff like that, but they come to me for help signing job interviews, you know, going to make reports at the police station, all those type of stuff that we take for granted, that you could just walk and go to the store and pick up something and have a conversation with the shop owners. For them, they have to sometimes write down, and if they don't know how to spell certain things, then they won't get across
clearly.
Yeah, clearly. So they need somebody to go and sign for them. I've been at Social Security boards signing, at income tax getting TIN numbers for them because they have a communication barrier, and you know that is one of the places we need to get so that people could be a little more independent.
Of course,
you know.
Of course. And so that leads me to my next question. Before I ask you to do something in sign for us, so begin to think. That leads me to my next question. How special needs friendly is our community? Think about it. How special needs friendly or disability friendly is beyond the ramp and the rails and all of that. Now we're looking at sign. Is our school? How special need friendly is our government buildings or churches? You know, that creates a barrier, like you said. And so we need to be able to bridge that gap.
So these persons living with disabilities really want to be independent. They really want to do things on their own. It's an accomplishment for them.
Of course.
And it is difficult. It is hard right now. The way how things is set up, it is hard for them to be independent. Right now, it's designed for them to be dependent on someone else.
And that's not what they want.
That's not what
you
they
know.
want.
You might look at somebody with special needs and say, "Oh, we need help, poor little thing." You know, we look at them and we want to
pity them.
And pity is not what they want. You know, they want for us to trust them to get it done. Like my little brother, if you want to brush his teeth, he wants to brush his own teeth. You know, and so I'm very much thankful for the help Stella Morrison has offered my family in helping him to learn all these little skills that he can now do on his own, which was not possible first. You know, before he went to Stella Morris, he wasn't even talking. You know, but he doesn't speak fluently, but at least he can begin to say a few words.
Yeah, and you
nobody
could understand him.
Nobody can go and take advantage of him because he will tell you exactly what's happening, right? And you know, and so I like that you said that people with special needs, they want to be independent.
Yes,
and so we need to be able to foster that you know, when we come in contact with people with special needs.
Yes. So when we have our offices and our businesses and our church services and stuff like that, we need to be mindful that these people also exist and they want to be a part of everything that we are creating. We need to create the environment for them to flourish there as well. So I remember going to Belmopan at the immigration office, and there's the person who deals with the information system and putting in the information, and she was like, "Oh," and she's really pitying the students that I took there to get their passports, and they're all independent. They want to go to the desk to pay on their own, and they want to have a conversation with her in terms of filling out their information and stuff like that. But she can't provide that because she don't know how to.
Yes, and this is serious conversation, because a place like the passport office, there should be somebody there. The police station, there should be somebody there.
Because these people are part of our society.
Of course.
You know, so you as the powers that be, it's incumbent on you to create the welcoming environment for these persons. You know?
And you may be saying at this time, why put a ramp? We don't have nobody at our church who needs a ramp. Or why sign? We don't have anybody at our church who needs the translation or needs for us to sign. But could it be that they're not coming because these things aren't there?
Exactly.
Let's not wait for somebody who is wheelchair bound come to your church door before putting up a ramp. Put it up, because that will be welcoming to those who are wheelchair bound. Let's not wait until somebody who needs sign language sit in your pew. You know, begin to do sign one time. They'll flock there because they know that they can understand the song service, they can understand the lesson study, and they can also understand the sermon.
Definitely.
So let's not wait.
One of the good things that came along with COVID was the advent of the online church services. What happens there? You are broadcasting to the entire world.
Yes.
Well, a significant population of the world are people who cannot hear.
Yeah.
Are we really reaching out to the entire world?
Something to think about.
Are we reaching to the corners of the earth?
That's something to think about. That means
you know?
ATN has work to do. We have work to do, because right now we are only catering for the English and Spanish community. I mean, we have Chinese, we have many other languages, but in terms of special needs, we're not there yet. You know, so we're with the grace of God, we're gonna get there, and with these conversations will help us to understand, and will help our people to understand the need for it.
It's pretty much just to keep it that in your thought that, you know, we need to do better, because there's a huge amount of persons that we're not getting to.
So let's put this sign language to the test. Let's see how good he is. I want for you to greet our viewers in sign, and then you tell me, translate. Tell me what you just did. Or maybe I could do it along with you, hoping that I don't mess it up. We did not rehearse, people, so don't judge us. I could do it along with you.
So first off, we would say hi. So we would either do hi.
Hi.
Or we would spell it out. H-I.
H-I.
H. Two fingers.
Okay.
That way. So H. And then the pinky finger comes up. So
hi.
Hi.
All right, well, that's easy.
Okay. So
hi.
my name. The two fingers. Okay. So hi.
Hi.
My name is.
Is.
So this is I. So it comes from the mouth. Is.
Okay.
And then my sign is the letter R.
Oh, for your
and
name.
It comes like that for my name.
Okay.
Right? I would either spell out the entire name or just do my sign.
Okay. So
right?
is that a sign you made up, or
right,
that's your?
Right. So it's a sign I made for my name.
For your name.
Yeah. And
okay.
You would normally associate it with something about you.
Okay.
Like so for me, I did the R. My name is Rodvern. I did the R, and I did like that because of my hair.
Okay.
You know, so
Okay.
R, it's kind of unique to me.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. It makes sense.
Right. Right.
So you better not cut the hair off because you have a need a new sign. Sorry. You have a new sign. All right, back to the side. All right, we did a hi.
So,
Okay.
so hi.
Hi.
My name is Rodvern.
Well, I have to make up my own sign.
Yes.
Right?
So
Okay.
then you would make a sign like your name, Chantal. So you would use S
Okay.
across.
Okay. So I always have
because
to think about
if you drop the thumb, then it becomes E. So S.
Okay. So finger placement is very much necessary.
Important because it changes things.
Okay.
So S. So
S.
that would be the first letter of your name. So then you would do something with S that is unique to you.
I like to sing.
So you would do S like that.
S.
So sing music is similar to the notes on the.
Okay.
So then you would do
That's
like
that.
right? So
I'm not messing this up, people, but bear with me.
she's doing well, you know.
I got a stiff hand situation going on.
So
here.
you just do that.
All right.
You know.
Okay.
So yes.
So let's
Hi.
try it again. Hi. My name is Chantel. Okay. All right.
Very
That's
good,
good. Did
very
you try?
good.
You have to try as well. Try as well. That's the first step for us here at ATN, you know, in terms of signing anything. We had a program a few years ago where we had Miss Smith coming in to sign our program, and that was, you know, it was breathtaking just to watch how she put the letters together to make the words and all of that. But you know, we
And
need
the
to start.
gestures, the body gestures.
Yes, and I noticed
facial
that
expressions.
as you were sharing, you were also talking. So,
Because they read lip.
okay.
Right. So when you sign, it's also advised that you say the word because they try to mimic what you're saying.
And that's
as
how
well,
they kinda-
so that other people could understand who doesn't understand sign, so they would try to bring out the word.
Okay.
Remember now, a person is deaf, not dumb.
All right. Talk
Deaf,
to us about that.
Not dumb. So people are like, oh, that dumb boy over there, the person not dumb.
Oh,
That
yes.
is
I hear that
very
word a lot.
insulting.
I hear that word a lot.
Very
Why do we
insulting.
use the word dumb? Like,
So
I don't think that's
have no
supposed to be in
idea.
the dictionary. That's supposed to just get dashed out.
I don't know where the word dumb comes from. But the person is deaf. That person can still make sounds.
Okay, so it's not completely mute.
The person is not mute. And mute is
So-
insulting as well. And
There
that
I
is not
go.
a good
All right.
terminology to
All right. So
associate with a
what's
person.
the right term?
So the person is deaf.
Deaf.
The person is deaf.
Uh-huh.
The reason why the person can't talk is because the person can't hear.
It's not cognitive. It's
You,
not
the
a...
only reason you can speak is because you heard it first.
Okay.
So when you dummy a baby.
So why is Bala the expert? It's why he's the expert. And so you'll be able to teach us things that we don't normally could associate with, because we need to think along the lines that, oh, mute might offend somebody. Well, I don't I definitely know that's not a good word. You know, would offend somebody. But since you are in the realm of that, you can understand, right?
So when you were a child, a little baby, like your mom used to say, "Mama," and then you go, "Mama," and you hear it, and then you try to.
Yes, and then you see her lip as well. That's how you develop phonetics.
And the sound, so you
Phonetical
try to
skills.
make the sound.
Yeah.
So that person being unable to hear, still have sound, but can't put it together, don't know exactly where to put the tongue to, formulate the word. So,
Is it? You said it's because they can't hear. Is there anything cognitive with it?
well, that goes really medical, so I'm not so sure.
Okay, I'm a partner one day.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. It's necessary for us to know this because we don't study these things because number one, we don't have no interest because it don't relates to us. We don't have nobody who have a disability. But if you want to be an organization or you want to be somebody who truly wants to include somebody or everyone, especially those with special needs, then you will make an effort to learn so that they are or they feel a part of our programs, they feel a part of our church, they feel a part of our society.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
As we're winding down this conversation, I just want to share this here. It says the world isn't always a friendly or accessible place for those with physical or intellectual differences. Here are several easy ways you can make a difference. We want to look at some tips now. We want to look at some ways that we can be more inclusive to people with special disabilities. The first one is to hire them. Hire them. How many places you go to where there's somebody with a disability working there? Do we really want to hire people with a disability?
So at Stella Maris, we started ourselves. So we hire persons who graduated from Stella Maris. So the head cook is a past graduate. The person who is the janitor, she's a past graduate. We have assistant teachers who are past graduates as well. So we start there. We also have in, when you're in a post-primary division, the students who are graduating, we send them out to different establishments so that they could get a feel. And some of the places, they would turn around and hire them. Like, I would like to big up Brody's. There's a past student, or several past students who are working there.
How receptive are businesses to these students? Because I know when you go out to look for businesses to host your students for job training, you have a list. Is it the same list every year? Why do you cast your net in order to get these students into?
Because we're trying to move into an inclusive world. We want to
how do you help
encourage people
business
to
places to understand this? Because nobody wants nobody.
Yes, and that is
time is money, and you
issue.
want to make sure that that person they clock in at this hour and they put in the work to get that paycheck.
So that is a major issue. Like people would say that, but we don't know what the limitations and you sure I could handle doing this type of stuff and you could guarantee me that somebody I call all the time go check but we don't know how to communicate, we don't know how to.
So how can we do better there?
It brings us back to the previous conversations that the conversation that we've been having for the past hour. You know, we need to look at ourselves and try to foster a nurturing environment for persons.
Of course, and give them work that they can do. Give them work that they have the skill for. You know, the goal is for you to help that person to be independent. The goal is for you to help that person to win, not to lose, not for him or her to see themselves as not capable of doing the work. So you give them small work first to see what they can do, what skills they have before you're telling them if they drive the tractor from one end of the field or one end of this factory to the next.
Yep. Make it realistic.
Of course. The next point. If you see an opportunity to help somebody with a disability, offer it. But first, I'd like to say ask first. You know, because like again, we don't want to go pity them and then it's something they feel that they could do it on their own. So you ask, do you need help? You want me to help you? And give them the opportunity to say yes or no.
Definitely.
Right? So don't go pushing up yourself there and the person is trying his best to get up on his own or to lift up himself because he's used to that.
Yeah, remember that's an accomplishment for them. So you don't want to take away that opportunity for them to win.
Definite. All right, the next one is to get connected. And get connected basically is telling us to do more than we're doing. You know, let's use social media to what's the word? Let's use social media at our benefit, you know, in order to include people with special needs. we hear it, we're a media host, we can use the media, we can use our cameras, you know.
Bring awareness, one.
Of course, bring awareness like we're doing now. The next one is ask questions. Ask question. You might be saying, ask question, how do I ask question? How do I ask question?
Well, with the person trying to, well, needing help, that's what we're trying to ask you to do. Ask them if they need help. That's one, right? Apart from that, asking questions can also mean asking what I can do to create that nurturing environment for persons with disabilities.
So don't assume that we know it all, you know. Don't assume that you know it all. It would be good to have like a little forum with people with disabilities to hear from them, to hear what are their needs, to hear what they want from society, because they have a voice as well. You know, we never know what they have to say if we don't sit with them to ask questions.
Give them the opportunity to express themselves.
Remember, some disabilities are invisible. So we cannot, again, we go back to saying that we cannot put everybody in a bag. Everybody have some kind of disability, and disability does not mean you are crippled, you're bedridden, you are dyslexic, you have autism. Simple things, you know, that we might say, oh, that's just one. It's a disability. And so you always must remember to put yourself in that person with a disability shoe, to see how he or she feels, and that way we have a better thinking, you know, we have a better...
You're on the bus and you're saying, excuse me, and then the person never move, and then they'll be like, this boy can't hear it. I say, excuse, move out of, you know, you don't
Mr. Rodvern.
You don't want to. You don't want to be like that.
Yes, be careful of our terms, be careful of how we act.
Remember, the disability is not visible.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you have to be kind to people.
Extend an invitation. I like this one. Extend an invitation. How do you extend an invitation? Well, like I said, don't wait to put up a ramp. You're extending an invitation by building whatever structure, whatever, with a ramp. You are extending an invitation. You're making a space. Don't wait to start sign, you know, in your church. You know, you're extending an invitation by, you know, starting out with a sign, even if there's nobody in your church that needs a sign. And then again, you might not know who need it. Because we assume a lot of things. You know, start a sign in your church. That's how you extend an invitation.
Yeah.
Put together a program, and you extend the invitation for those in the community who have special needs that, you know, can come out. That's another way.
You publish it on your Facebook page. People use Facebook a lot. You share it.
Even people with special needs. Tell them my brother is on all day. The post on the post on post. All right. Honor differences. Don't fear them. What comes to your mind when you think of this? Honor differences. Don't fear them.
You don't want to exclude anybody, and I would like to interpret fear in that sense, like being afraid. I don't want like the businesses who are being afraid to hire persons with different disabilities. Like they don't want to hire them. They're afraid they might be held liable. But you know, you're giving them an opportunity, so you're honoring the differences.
Yep. That you hit the nail on the head there. They may think that people with disabilities on their workforce would be a liability, but you never know if you don't give them a chance. Give them a chance, right? Make your space accessible. I think we went over this one several times. Make your space accessible, whether it's a church or a business space, business place. See, that's my disability. The faster I talk, I begin to stumble. So I have to be telling my brain, slow down, slow down. But we all have something. Yeah, so that's where we are with that. So as we are wrapping up, Mr. Lino, I believe you've come here and you said a mouthful. You know, very impactful. We've had a very impactful conversation, and I pray that it does not only stay at impactful. You know, I pray that it moves on to us here, moving to the next level of inclusion. Starting with ATN first, you know, and to you, our viewer who's watching?
Yeah, put it into action. Put it
Yep.
into action.
Yep. So I want to give you the opportunity now to maybe share some final words. I know you have your trip to Berlin. Speak to our viewer. I'm sure you're going to have all of them plane ticket now, the back pocket yet. You know, if you need some support, let them know how they can help.
So, first off, the support for persons with disabilities, there's BAPTA, that's the Belize
Persons with
Disabilities Association,
yes.
pretty much. And there's a vast amount of resources that you could access being a member of that association. So it's for a person with any disability, you know. So they recently, Sunday, they were in the news because the bus lost the bridge, but they actually took a trip for persons to get mobility wheelchairs, you know, the nice fancy ones that they could just push and where they're not going like this and where they're just pushing a button, you know. So they were offering that type of assistance. So there's also the disability desk. It's right across from Channel 7 at the women's department.
That's on Albert Street.
On Albert Street. You can go there, you can get assistance with wheelchairs, you could get assistance with food pantry, you could get a lot of different assistance from that desk. Then there's Special Olympics. We deal with the sporting aspect, you know, the physical, and it's not for children. Special Olympics is from 8 to 99, you know, and it really gives you it makes persons with disability physical, you know. You go, you practice the long jump, you try to do some athletics, you know. We need to stay fit and active. And then there's Stella School, and this is a school for persons with disabilities, the only fully disability school in the country. So if it is that you're finding that your student or your child is not fitting in because of how society is, you know, how cruel children can be to children or persons can be to persons, then there's Stella Maris. You access the school by assessment through the special education unit, and that's the arm of the Ministry of Education. So there's support. There's support for persons with disabilities. So please don't stay in a corner, leave your people at home and saying that they're worthless and they're not good for anything, and try to refer to them as being vegetables. No, we are way beyond that stage now.
Amen.
We're at a stage
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that.
We're at a stage where we want to have them at the forefront and being a part of everyday society, right? So we can't be asking society to accept if we're having ours staying at home, you know? So with that said, Special Olympics Belize is taking the Abachi team to Berlin. It's a very expensive venture.
I could imagine.
And we're trying to ask for any assistance from...
Where in the world is Berlin?
Germany.
Wow.
Germany, folks. I've been looking at tickets,
really
and they're in the range of 4,000 US round trip.
Wow.
And 30 odd hours of traveling.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the world, you know. So any assistance that can be given to us, we would definitely appreciate it. You can contact us on Facebook, email Special Olympics Belize at yahoo.com. You can contact me, 630-9889. You can contact the Disability Desk. We work very closely with them as well. So any assistance that can be provided to us, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these children. So please, any assistance, we'll be more than grateful for.
Wow. Man, I wish I could go on this trip. But we want to appeal to our viewers. to, you know, help where you can.
Yeah, where you can.
This would be an awesome experience for people with special needs that will be going away for the Olympics in Berlin, Germany. And so we want to be able to give them that opportunity to travel and to experience and to be a part and to feel inclusive when it comes to sports. Mr. Rodvern Lino, we want to thank you so much for being with us this morning. And I think I forgot one quick thing before we end off. For the church, we also have the Possibilities Ministry. It's quite new here in Belize. It's not something we've been developing as much, but around the world, the ministry is quite alive and well, you know. So we need to get on the ball. We need to get on it to, you know, to make a space. We can't be talking inclusion, as you're saying, and we ourselves, we're not there yet, you know. So we're gonna work on it. With the help of God, we're gonna work on it.
That's a very good news.
Thank you so much again for coming. It took me a while for this young man to get here, you know, but he got here anyhow. Very much appreciative of you taking out your
thanks
time.
For having me. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
And this is a very much needed conversations, and I think we should have it more often to really keep it to the forefront.
Yes. And thanks to your viewers for staying with us to the end. With that, we say goodbye and God bless.
Jesus said, "And this gospel shall be preached to all the world, and then the end shall come." Here at ATN, we consider it a wonderful privilege to provide you, our viewers, with wholesome programs to enrich and bless your souls. However, all of this is only possible because of your generous donations. We pause at this moment to ask you for your financial support to continue this great work entrusted to us by God. If you would like to become one of our monthly donors, please call us at 613-9351 or email us at atnfin@cbm.belizeunion.org. We sincerely thank you for your commitment, and may the Lord richly bless and keep